Staff Sergeant Derek Pullman gripped the reinforced leash with both hands. At the other end, the Belgian Malinois lunged, 80 pounds of muscle and fury straining against the metal muzzle. Ajax, 4 years old, had been rescued from a conflict zone 8 months earlier. 3 handlers had already tried and failed. 80 stitches, 0. This is Ajax's final evaluation, Pullman announced into the microphone, his voice cutting across the Camp Lejeune training field. Families and veterans watched from the bleachers. If the dog couldn't be controlled today, he would be humanely euthanized that evening. A murmur ran through the crowd. Parents pulled their children close. Then, from the third row, a man in a torn jacket stood, boots held together with duct tape. Amber eyes, which hadn't focused on anything in months, locked onto the dog. Cole Reeves stepped over the fence and onto the field. In that instant, everything changed. 3 weeks earlier, the rain began at 2 a.m. under the Jefferson Bridge knot. A light drizzle, but a soaking, relentless downpour that turned cardboard to mush and seeped through 4 layers of clothing. Cole pulled his military backpack closer, protecting 3 items: a 2008 K9 training manual, a photo of him with a German shepherd named Titan, and an ultrasonic whistle no one else remembered how to use. Across from him, Miguel Torres, 62, a former Army medic, wrung water from his wool cap. "You know what day it is tomorrow?" he asked. Cole didn't respond. He rarely spoke anymore. Miguel grinned, revealing 3 missing teeth, knowing he'd get Cole's attention. "Big demonstration at Lejeune K9 program. Free meals for vets?" Cole's eyes flicked toward him, then back to the rain. Miguel's voice softened. "When's the last time you had a hot meal that wasn't from a dumpster?" Cole's stomach answered for him. "Come on, Nomad. 1 meal, that's all." The name struck Cole like shrapnel. Nomad, his call sign, a name he hadn't heard in 4 years, since he left the VA hospital, convinced he didn't deserve to be called anything. Hunger made the decision easy. The next morning they entered Camp Lejeune through the veteran gate. A young Marine barely glanced at their DD-214 discharge papers before waving them through. The base smelled of diesel and cut grass. Families carried folding chairs toward the outdoor arena, children running ahead, excited. Cole and Miguel joined other veterans in the bleachers. A volunteer handed them styrofoam containers filled with meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and green beans. Cole ate methodically, chewing and swallowing without tasting, fueling himself mechanically. A voice crackled over the speakers. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. I'm Staff Sergeant Derek Pullman, head instructor of the K9 program here at Camp Lejeune." Cole looked up. Pullman was young, maybe 34, crisp uniform, confident stride, the kind of man who never failed at anything important. "Today," Pullman continued, pacing the arena, "we face a difficult reality. Not every military working dog can transition to normal operations." A handler led a muzzled Belgian Malinois into the arena, restrained by a leash that looked fit for a wild animal. The dog pulled with enough force to drag the handler sideways. "This is Ajax," Pullman said, voice somber. "A combat veteran, like many of you here. He served in a special operations unit overseas. Saved lives, but 8 months ago, he was extracted from a hostile zone and brought stateside for rehabilitation." The dog lunged again. The handler stumbled. Since his arrival, Ajax had attacked 3 qualified handlers. The most recent incident left a handler with 18 stitches and permanent nerve damage to the left hand. The crowd shifted. Uneasily, Pullman's tone grew heavier. "We've exhausted every rehabilitation protocol, behavioral conditioning, desensitization, therapy, pharmacological intervention. Nothing has worked. Today is Ajax's final evaluation. If safe control cannot be established, he will be humanely euthanized at 1700 hours." Cole's hands tightened around the styrofoam container. Miguel leaned close. "That's messed up. Dog probably just needs someone who understands." But Cole wasn't listening. He was watching Ajax, how the dog's ears rotated independently, scanning for sounds, how his weight shifted before each lunge, not aggression, but calculation. His eyes fixed on the horizon beyond Pullman, as if searching for something lost. Cole had seen that look before, in mirrors, puddles, storefront windows. Passing strangers, Pullman handed the microphone to an assistant, and knelt before Ajax, extending a gloved hand. "Easy, boy, easy now." Ajax coiled, then exploded forward. The muzzle clanged against Pullman's forearm guard, metal cracking across the arena. Pullman jerked back, leash tight. C. Unprovoked aggression. This dog is unsuitable for operational user liability. Something inside Cole snapped on anger, recognition. He stood. Miguel grabbed his arm. "Cole, what are you doing?" But he was already moving, stepping over the low barrier. His duct-taped boots crunching on gravel, eyes locked on Ajax. Pullman's voice sharpened. "Security, the authorized individual on the field." Cole continued deliberately. Ajax swiveled, alert. Pullman stepped in his path. "Leave now." Cole looked at him, then past him. "I can help," he said, rough from disuse. "Help." Pullman's skepticism hardened. "This is a military working dog. He's dangerous. Are you qualified?" "I was," Cole replied quietly. 15 years. Marine Corps canine handler. Pullman's expression softened slightly. "You're a veteran. I respect that, but protocols have changed. You don't know this dog." "I know enough," Cole interrupted. From the bleachers, Miguel shouted, "That's Nomad! That's Cole Reeves!" Veterans turned, recognizing the legend. Pullman's radio crackled. Colonel Finch's voice ordered him to let Cole try. Pullman paled, but stepped aside. Cole approached Ajax. The handler released the leash, stepping back. Ajax didn't charge. He trembled, not in fear, but restraint. Every muscle coiled, eyes locked on Cole. The crowd held its breath. Cole knelt, vulnerable, and pulled from his jacket a black nylon collar, tight and stitched in white thread yellowed by time. In his other hand, a tarnished metal whistle. He blew silent to human ears. Ajax's ears shot up, body rigid. Cole spoke, in Pashto. "Be a lure. Come, son." Ajax's tail lifted, recognition sparking in his eyes. Cole repeated the command, softly adding an operational code, a tunnel-clearing designation from Afghanistan, known only to select handlers and surviving dogs. Ajax shook, memory stirring, not aggression. Cole extended his hand, whispering, "You're not broken, soldier. You're waiting for someone who speaks your language." Finally, he gave the command that mattered. "Nomad, clear. Dan down." Ajax's legs buckled. A high, broken whimper escaped him, a sound of release. He lay against Cole's knees, body pressed to him. The crowd erupted. Lieutenant Sarah Briggs, attacked weeks earlier, gasped in disbelief. Dr. Samuel Ortiz, the base veterinarian, dropped a sedative syringe, glass shattering. Miguel Torres leaped to the gravel, shouting, "I told you, that's Nomad." Amy Lawson, journalist, lowered and raised her camera repeatedly, whispering, "This is Pulitzer. This is actually Pulitzer." Above, Colonel Andrea Finch watched Ajax's euthanasia form slipping from her hands. "Welcome back, Maureen," she whispered. Staff Sergeant Pullman stood motionless, leash in the dirt. He removed his cap, hand running through his hair, confidence shattered. "Who?" His voice cracked. Asterisk. He cleared his throat. "Who are you?" Cole didn't answer. His gaze remained locked on Ajax, his hand resting gently atop the dog's head. Ajax leaned into the touch, eyes half closed. "Someone who remembers," Cole said quietly. Pullman shook his head in disbelief. "I've been training canine units for 8 years. I have certifications from 3 different behavioral institutes. I've studied every paper, every protocol." He stopped, exasperated. "And you just walked out here and fixed him in 30 seconds, how?" Cole finally met his eyes. "You tried to dominate him. You tried to rehabilitate him using proven methods." "Same thing," he said. He scratched behind Ajax's ear. The dog's eyes closed fully. "He's not aggressive. He's defensive."
Ow.
"Different problem." Lieutenant Briggs approached cautiously, keeping her distance, her bandaged arm pressed to her side. "Mr. Reeves," she said softly, "the attacks, we thought he was beyond recovery. He was traumatized," Cole replied, "but not the way you think." Briggs knelt down a few feet away. "Then what did we miss?" Cole watched Ajax's breathing, steady, calm. "Look at his posture," he said. "Notice how his weight shifts when someone approaches. He's not attacking. He's executing a protocol." Asterisk protocol? Pullman asked, curiosity overtaking skepticism. He's scanning for IEDs, Cole explained. When approached head-in, he interprets it as a threat breach. Mentally, he's still on mission, protecting his unit from advancing hostiles. Dr. Ortiz stepped closer, cautious. Eek! But we've had him for 8 months. We used every desensitization technique. Why didn't it work? Because you treated the symptoms, not the cause, Cole said, looking Pullman in the eye. Did anyone check his original deployment records? Which unit he served with? Pullman hesitated. We got him from a transfer facility in Germany. The records were incomplete. We assumed he was a standard patrol dog. He's not, Cole said. The Pashto commands are operational codes Kabul Sector 7. That was a joint mission in 2011. Marines and British SAS clearing Taliban tunnels. Dogs on that mission were trained in local languages to coordinate with Afghan contractors. 6 weeks, 43 tunnels, 17 IEDs, 3 dogs Kia. Ajax was there. He never left mentally. 8 months. He's been waiting for someone to give him the right commands in the right language. You weren't failing him. You just weren't speaking his language. Briggs pressed her hands to her mouth. Oh, God. We've been punishing him for doing his job. Misunderstanding, Cole corrected. Out of breath, Miguel arrived, smiling. He put a hand on Cole's shoulder. For years, hermano. For years under that bridge, and you never said a word about who you were. Cole said nothing. You're Nomad, Miguel insisted, the handler from the Afghan reports. Everyone thought you were a ghost story. I'm nobody, Cole replied softly. You just saved this dog's life, Miguel said. Cole shook his head. I didn't save him. I reminded him. He's still a soldier. Footsteps on gravel drew everyone's attention. Colonel Andrea Finch approached, her aide trailing behind with a tablet. A tall, commanding woman of 49 with streaks of silver in her black hair stopped in front of Cole. Stand up, Marine, she ordered. Cole hesitated. Ajax shifted, alert. Cole touched the dog's head reassuringly, then slowly rose. His knees cracked under the motion. Finch studied him how the streets had aged him, hollowed his cheeks, left scars on his hands. Still straight, still disciplined, yet brittle. Cole Reeves, she said quietly. Call sign Nomad. 15 years of service, 3 tours in Iraq, 2 in Afghanistan. 14 K9 partnerships, 0 mission failures. Navy and Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Purple Heart, Combat Action Ribbon, medically discharged March 2012. And you've been living under a bridge for 4 years? Cole remained silent. Why didn't you come back? Finch pressed. We have programs, resources. You could have been helped. I didn't deserve them, he said. The words hung heavy. Finch's gaze softened. Sang March 14th, 2012, the compound clearing operation. Your canine detected an IED? You were ordered to proceed anyway? 2 Marines died. Your dog was fatally wounded protecting you. Cole's fist clenched. That wasn't your fault, Finch said. Doesn't matter. It does, she said firmly. You followed orders. The failure was in the commands, not you. I knew better, Cole admitted quietly. Titan alerted. He never alerted unless he was certain. And I ignored him. Trusted a man with a radio over a dog with 3 years of field work. That's on me. No one else. Finch gestured to Ajax, lying calm at Cole's feet. Every handler tried. Every specialist tried. Every resource we had, we used. Nothing worked. You walked out here and fixed it in 30 seconds. You think that's a coincidence? Cole looked at Ajax. I just spoke his language. Exactly, Finch nodded. You remembered something we forgot. These dogs aren't machines. They're soldiers. And soldiers need someone who understands them. She showed Cole the tablet. For 5 years, you were the go-to specialist when handlers couldn't connect with their dogs. 47 K9 partnerships rehabilitated. Not one failed. That was a long time ago, Cole said. 4 years ago, Finch corrected. And from what I just saw, you haven't lost your skill. I'm offering you a position, civilian contractor. K9 rehab specialist. You'll work with unrecoverable dogs, train handlers, GS-11 pay, on-base housing, full benefits, mental health services through the VA. Cole hesitated. I can't. Why? Finch asked. I'll fail again, he said. Maybe, she said. Or maybe you'll save lives the way you just did. Miguel stepped forward. Cole, take it. Cole shook his head. I broke the first rule. Trust the dog. I didn't, so I don't get to do this anymore. To what? Finch asked. To have a second chance? To use the skills I spent 15 years developing. Finch's tone softened. Cole, people who think they don't deserve second chances usually need them most. What happens to him? Cole asked, nodding at Ajax. If you accept, he's yours, Finch said. Permanent partner, under your care and rehabilitation. Cole looked down at Ajax. The dog pressed close, trusting, alive. Cole closed his eyes, feeling for years of pain, shame, and survival pressed down. Ajax leaned against him. Warm, present, alive. One condition, Cole said. Name it. I want a program for homeless veterans. Pair them with dogs like Ajax dogs everyone else gave up on. Save 2 lives at once, the veteran and the dog, Finch considered. It's ambitious. If it works, it saves 2 lives at once, Cole said. Pullman removed his cap. Ma'am, I thought I knew everything about canine training. I was wrong. If Reeves says this will work, I trust him. Finch extended her hand. You've got a deal, Mr. Reeves. Welcome back. Cole looked, then took it. The crowd erupted. Within hours, media coverage began. Within a week, the story went viral. But Cole didn't care. He had to decide if he could trust himself again. Believe broken things could still be valuable. 3 months later, Cole stood before a renovated barracks, canine rehabilitation and veteran reintegration program. EST 2026. Inside, 5 homeless veterans worked with 5 dogs deemed too dangerous or traumatized to continue service. Each dog carefully paired, each veteran carrying unseen wounds. Miguel worked with Sarge, a German Shepherd returned from deployment for PTSD-related aggression. Within 6 weeks, Sarge was certified for therapy work at the VA hospital. Doc Henderson, a former Navy corpsman, worked with Ghost, a Belgian Malinois found half-starved and scarred. Linda Reyes partnered with Bella, a rescued lab mix, helping the dog overcome fear and trauma. The program was small, underfunded, yet thriving. Cole and Ajax were inseparable. Training, meals, nightmares. Ajax was his anchor, a reminder of connection and trust. Lieutenant Briggs trained under Cole, learning that control comes from understanding, not dominance. Pullman incorporated Cole's methods into the canine curriculum. Admitting old techniques weren't about replacement, they were about remembering why they worked. 6 months later, Amy Lawson's viral photo of Cole and Ajax became a symbol. Broken doesn't mean useless. Donations poured in. The program expanded. Other bases inquired about replication. Cole avoided media, but allowed a single statement. Broken soldiers understand broken dogs. We speak the same language. Being broken doesn't mean being useless. It means someone sees what's still there. 1 year later, graduation day arrived. 15 veterans, 15 dogs, certified for therapy, search and rescue, emotional support, and facility security. Colonel Finch praised Cole's empathy, the ability to see someone at their lowest and believe they could rise. Cole stood quietly, Ajax at his side. Titan's old collar remained in his pocket, reminder of trust and listening. A young private approached with Blitz, her late brother's K9. Cole knelt, extended his hand, and the dog responded. Hope restored. Cole Reeves' story teaches a universal truth. Brokenness isn't the end. It can be the beginning if someone is willing to look past the scars and see what remains. Second chances aren't given, they're earned through courage, empathy, and understanding. Broken dogs, broken veterans, broken humans, they're all waiting for someone willing to see their potential.